All right. In this training, I am going to go over 26 sources of getting leads. So I'm going to go over 26 different sources that you can go to and use to generate leads for any business that you're a part of. Now, this is one of the most common questions I get. Now, as a top recruiter in every business that I've ever been in, one of the main things that people ask me are, Matt, how do you go? Where is it that you find all of these people? So I'm going to give her 26 different things that you can use right now. Most of them are free. They're all extremely duplicatable. Um, I favor some over others. Some of the ones that I go over, you may like better than I do. But the idea is I'm going to go over these 26 things. If you want to grab out a pen and a paper, you can start jotting them down. And if, three, four, maybe five of them jump out at you as things that you'd like to try, I just urge you to go ahead and start with those five things. Starting off with all 26 would be a little bit crazy. It's just too much to do. So as I go through things, if there's certain ones that grab your attention more than others, those are where you should start. Now, I'm going to go over these in no particular order. Um, what I am going to save, though, at the end, if you listen all the way through to the end, my two favorite ways or two favorite sources of getting traffic for you to ultimately generate leads. I'm going to save this for the end, but I do have a few other favorites, so I'm going to tell you along the way. And let's get started. So the very first place that you can find prospects, find leads, people who are interested in the same things that you are, is your Facebook friends. I mean, it seems like a pretty simple thing, but I know that a lot of people, they feel like they don't want to bother their current Facebook friends. Now, depending on how long you've been in the industry, a lot of your friends may already be like-minded, but if you're brand new and getting started out, sometimes people have hesitancy in contacting their current Facebook friends. But I can say really you're doing them a disservice by not at least giving them the opportunity to take a look at whatever you're doing. Okay, believe it or not, a lot of people are just like you. They may be unhappy with their current job. They may be just looking for a different way to live their life. So ultimately, by just introducing them and talking to them a little bit about what you're doing, at least give them the opportunity to accept or decline that offer. So the probably the most simple place that you can go is your current Facebook friends and give them the opportunity to find out more about what you're doing. The second source is going to be Twitter. Now, Twitter is an incredible place to go to start generating and getting leads. I mean, it's not as big as Facebook, but definitely it's something that you should consider leveraging. Okay. The third place is going to be Craigslist. Now, Craigslist is a place that some people, kind of aren't really interested in going. But if you know how to use Craigslist the right way, it's a really good place to generate more leads for your business. Now, the fourth one is going to be meetup.com. So this is a great place for you to meet up with local people in your area who are business minded, who are entrepreneurs, and really just like-minded like you, right? So it's a great place for you to go and hear what other people are doing, but more importantly, it's a great place for you to gather business cards and then start contacting those people to see if they're open to taking a look at something else. The next one is going to be using YouTube. Now, YouTube is extremely powerful, and video in general is extremely powerful. So there's tons and tons of people, again, like-minded people on YouTube that you can see. You could search for, if you search any major entrepreneur or any motivational speaker, you can identify in the comment section, other people who obviously are commenting in a positive way towards that motivational speaker or what have you. And you can identify people who are just like you, who are business minded, and again, great way to contact and a great source of generating leads. The next thing you can do is use bandit signs. Now, if you're not familiar with what a bandit sign is, if you're ever driving down the road and you see those little plastic signs that, sometimes they say something like, free lawn care or free or something, carpet cleaning, stuff like that. In our industry, you can use those signs to, if you put the right words on those signs, it's a great way for people, who are traveling to and from work. Monday morning, someone's driving to work and they see, a sign on the side of the road that grabs their attention and makes them, do something. And I'm going to get more into, how to get people to do what you want shortly. Um, but those signs are really a really good source of leads for you. Now, the next one is back to Facebook, Facebook groups. So there's groups that you can become a part of on Facebook. If you're not a part of them, there's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of groups that you can be a part of who are filled with people who are just like you. They're people who are in the home-based business niche, or they're, ultimately selling something online. They're just like you, right? And it's a completely free way for you to be able to market or put your information in front of people, right? Completely free. And if you do this the right way, you can literally generate lots and lots of leads. Using Facebook groups, I have generated on a typical day, I would generate 5 to 10, 15 leads per day, and I've generated up to 47 leads in a single day, completely for free using Facebook groups. So that's a great source of leads, but you have to do it the right way. The next one that you can use is clothing advertising. I mean, pretty much common sense. Now, this one obviously is not going to be free, but you wear clothes anyways. So if you're serious about building a business, if you're really serious about it, getting a shirt done or a hat done. And whenever I say to use clothing advertising, I'm not suggesting that you have a shirt or a hat that has your business opportunity on it. It should be something, like, I mean, hypothetically, like find out how I created freedom, right? And then you have a website that you put the people to. And I'm going to get more into that here towards the end, okay? So, clothing advertising, you could do that. Another great source is networking events. Now, these could be networking events for, business opportunities, or it could be like local networking events. This is where groups of people get together who are just like you, and we're just typically open to seeing things. Now, whenever you go to these events, I'm not suggesting that you go there and start talking to everybody about your business opportunity, right? People don't. That's not the proper way to do it. What I suggest is go to the events. Just keep the conversations casual and, I mean, about business, but don't try to sell people at the actual event. What you want to do is gather business cards and then start following up with people the following day or days, depending on how many contacts you've made and how many business cards you've gotten. The next source is going to be Google+. Now, it's another great source. Right now, basically, social media is being dominated by Facebook. So a lot of times, if you're trying to fish in a place where everyone is fishing, it could be a little crazy. Google Plus is still popular. I know people who on Google Plus have generated thousands of leads, but it's not nearly as crowded as Facebook. So sometimes being the loudest person in a quiet place, a quieter place, not that Google Plus is quiet, sometimes being the loudest person in a quieter place, it can ultimately be a great idea. So you might want to start doing some research on Google Plus and start doing some marketing there. Great source. If you have children, this is for people who have children. So any place where there's like parenting events, right? So if your children are in sport, they do sports or anything, they're in band or anything like that, where you're going to be around other people who have children. It's a great place to meet with people who are looking for alternative ways to create income. And really the reason why is one of the most common things that a parent wants is to be able to have the ability to spend more time with their children. So, and they want to give their children a good life too. So a lot of those parents are working at least full-time jobs, sometimes working multiple jobs in order to provide the lifestyle that they want for their children. So a lot of those parents are open to looking at additional ways to earn money. So parenting events is a great place. The next place that you can do is back online is Pinterest. Again, I know people who are crushing it on Pinterest. So, go to YouTube and Google how to market on Pinterest, and start diving in there. Great source of um, generating leads. The next one is going to be Snapchat. Now, this is for like a lot of the younger generation. I'm just turned 39 years old. I'm not much into Snapchat, but I know all of my kids, um, pretty much, teenagers up into. There are some people my age that use it, but for if you're a younger person, Snapchat would probably be a great place for you to start marketing and a great source for you to generate leads. Let's see here. Okay, back to Facebook groups again. When I mentioned Facebook groups last time, um, that was more about posting to generate leads in Facebook groups. That was about posting a really good message or a really good ad copy in Facebook groups. You can generate leads that way. So another thing you can do in Facebook groups is it's a great place to identify people who are just like you. So you can go into these groups that again are filled with all these people and just start connecting with them. Find out what they're doing, what are their struggles, what can you help them with, and ultimately, build relationships with people who are like-minded with you. Great source to meet people, and ultimately the people that you meet and that you build those trusting relationships, that's where business partners come from. Okay, so don't be afraid to go into some Facebook groups and start connecting with people. Now, of course, when you do that, you don't want to go in there and connect with too many people because Facebook doesn't like that. So, if you're going to choose to go the route of Facebook groups and connecting with people that way, I'd suggest connecting with maybe 5 to 10 people per day. Don't do much more than that. Otherwise, you potentially could get yourself into some trouble. All right, the next one is going to be your warm market. So, me and a lot of us who are internet marketers, we typically don't talk to our warm market, right? We want to learn how to connect with new people online and ultimately, help those people to create income online. But really, in all fairness, I think that we should give our warm market, our friends and family, the opportunity to take a look at what we're doing. Because again, a lot of them are just like us, especially if you have a brother or an aunt, an uncle, a friend, um, someone like that who is kind of fed up with their job, or they're like-minded. You definitely should present and give them the opportunity to take a look at whatever it is you're doing, right? So your warm market. Um, Warm market referrals. So again, your warm market, not everyone that you personally know, your friends and family, they may not all personally be interested, but they probably know someone who would be interested. So maybe you could reach out to them and ask them if they know anyone who would be interested in creating an additional source of income, right? Really no harm in it. The answer would be yes or no. And if the answer is yes, a warm market referral is great because if your brother refers you to their friend, right, you now can obviously say, hey, my brother said, whenever you speak to that friend, you could say, my brother told me that this is something that you would be interested in. So, and people are more likely to listen if they're a warm market referral. Let's see here. Another big one right now, and it's actually we're going to combine this with another one, is Periscope and the new Facebook live streaming. I believe it's called Facebook live streaming. I personally don't have Facebook live streaming yet, but I can't wait till I do because I'll be using it a lot. So Periscope is a place where you can basically you can stream live video and speak to your audience, answer questions that they have, and build those trusting relationships live, right? And same with on Facebook. So definitely using a source like Periscope or the Facebook live stream is going to be something that is not only a great source for you to generate leads, but it's going to be a great way for you to begin to increase your conversion rates, because by offering help to people and letting them see you and hear you and know that you're a real person will definitely help you to build those relationships, build that trust, and you will get more sales ultimately in whatever it is you're selling, whenever you're willing to do stuff like that. Let's see. The next one's going to be drop cards. So this is an offline tactic, right? Offline strategy. I'm not saying you get cards done and you start throwing them around everywhere, but a couple of simple places to do it. And pay attention. This is pretty cool. I actually just came up with this one idea not that a couple hours ago. So this is like brand new. I haven't even done it yet, but I'm going to try it. So for drop cards, one of the common places that people will tell you to do it is, if you're in a bookstore and you go to the, self-development or business area, and if there's books there that you've read, like Think and Grow Rich or stuff like that, right? Stick some drop cards in those books. So the people that are reading them, they're probably like-minded. So stick some drop cards with information about you and how you do what you do in them, right? And also ultimately you want to have those people go to probably an online site, or you have your phone number, what have you, on those drop cards. Another cool thing that I just came across is Redbox movies, right? So, or any kind of place where you go and you rent a movie and you're going to return it. So say you rent a movie that has anything to do with business or stuff like that. So again, stuff that like-minded people would be interested in. You don't need to stick, a drop card in a romance movie, because it's not going to make much sense. I mean, technically you could, what's that going to cost you? But so you rent a movie, something business-minded people would watch, and then when you return it, in the top side of that movie where the code isn't at, so you still can return that movie, you put it back into the Redbox machine. Then the next person who comes and rents that movie, you are providing them with information about whatever it is you do. So another simple place, wouldn't cost you anything to do that. You've already rented the movie, you watched it, you liked it. Now you're basically putting your information in front of someone who's probably, somewhat like-minded like yourself. All right, the next one's going to be car window or car magnets. So again, if you're serious about your business, let people know what you do. This is going to be similar to, clothing advertising. So again, you're not going to necessarily, you see it all the time, or I've seen it quite a bit, where people have their company brand all over their car. Again, I would suggest, making it more something about creating freedom. So you're not, telling exactly like a particular business, because a lot of people do that. And, it's like, I used to see like Mona V and Herbalife all over different people's cars, but there was no way to distinguish one successful person over another, right? Or success from failure with those things. Everybody had them, so why should I contact one person or the other? So you should come up with a unique way of letting people know that you have an alternative lifestyle for them, right? Or an opportunity for them to check something out, right? So then that way, you drive them, there's that traffic to more information about you, not necessarily about the business opportunity itself. Okay. And Instagram. Right now, Instagram is really hot. It's a really cool place for you to, whenever you're doing photos and stuff like that, you can edit your photos on Instagram in really cool ways. So if you're not on Instagram, I definitely think you should be on it. So definitely set up an Instagram account and start doing some research on how to market there and how to get more leads. Now let's see here. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is another social media platform that is mostly filled with business professionals. So these are people who are really, the majority of people who are on LinkedIn are serious about business, right? So, and I forget what the stats are, but I know that statistically, people who are on LinkedIn have more money than people who are on other areas of social media. So these are highly qualified people who are, especially if you're selling higher ticket stuff, LinkedIn would definitely be a place that you should check out. Let's see here. The next one is going to be restaurants. Now you might be thinking, okay, what are you going to do at restaurants? So if you're a part of a networking opportunity and you're going to be doing local networking events, if there's a particular restaurant that you like, maybe you go and you speak to that owner. Maybe you already know an owner of a particular restaurant, and they ultimately could become a member of your business opportunity, right? And when they do, you can let them know that you're going to be holding events at their restaurant, which is a benefit for them, right? Maybe you can even negotiate a deal on the food or the drinks with them. And also, but whenever they join your opportunity, you can let them know that whenever, you know, a certain percentage of the people who join from coming to those events, that you actually, as a way of thanking them, you will actually help them build their team because they're letting you use their restaurants. Okay, so that's another good one. Your Facebook profile wall. Now, this is like a really one that seems blatantly obvious, um, but posting on your Facebook wall in a and again, this is something that you need to understand how to do correctly, right? Because whenever you're posting about a business opportunity all the time on your Facebook wall, people just don't want to hear about it, right? But if you're posting the right information that grabs the attention of other people, that piques their curiosity, that makes them want to know a little bit more, if you post on your Facebook wall the right way, you can generate tons of leads from your personal Facebook wall. I mean, I've generated thousands of leads from my personal wall. Okay, so uh, definitely a great source of traffic is going to be your personal Facebook profile. Um, now, one of my favorites, and right now, if you're brand new or if you've been in this industry for a while and you're just trying to figure it out, one of the things that I regret not doing right from the beginning as a source of traffic, and this is probably one of my ones that I recommend more than anything, is blogging. And the reason why is for two reasons. I'm going to give you two reasons why you should be blogging. Number one is if you're blogging the right way and you're providing educational information that your target audience is going to appreciate you for telling them about. If you're going to educate them on your blog, they're going to come back and they're also going to be likely to share that information through their social media. So you can get organic traffic that way. It's just an incredible way of doing things. And also having a centralized location where rather than having to post your information like throughout all the different possibilities of social media, setting it up in a way that you can post information one time on a blog and then share it throughout social media is a lot easier. I mean, it's if there was one thing I could go back to the beginning and do over again when I first got started in this industry, one of the first things that I would have done is set up a blog. And it took me over 3 years before I realized, wow, I really dropped the ball by not doing that. So right now, what I suggest is there's going to be a button that appears below, if it hasn't appeared yet, below this video. You have the opportunity right now to grab a spot, work with me personally, and you can get a 14-day I believe it's a 14-day trial. And if the offer changes, I'm sorry, it might be a 7-day trial, 14-day trial, and the price may change as well. But no matter what, the price is going to be very, very low for you to get started. You're going to have access to your very own, setting up your very own blog. It's push button easy. So get started there. Click on the button and you should make that your central location for your information about you and ultimately your business opportunity. So whenever we go back to talking about, where I mentioned like car magnets and clothing advertising and things of that nature, ultimately what you want to do is, get people to check out who you are and what you're doing on your blog as well. It's a great way for people to be able to identify, what you're doing. So go ahead and click on that button below and get started and set up a blog. Strongly, strongly suggest that if you're brand new or if you struggled. And just one more quick point. A lot of the most successful people in our industry, they all have blogs. So like if you want to know what, follow success, if you want to know what it takes to be successful, look at what successful people do and model it, right? So a common theme that I've seen, or a common thing that I've seen with successful people who are building their business primarily online is they all have a blog, right? So click on the button and get started with that. And then the last one I'm going to share with you is really, really big. And I'm going to give you access, whenever you get started by clicking on that button below, I'm going to give you access to a special training that I have. I'm going to give you access to it for free. And basically it's going to be a 30-day fan page challenge, right? So on Facebook, not only can you obviously, build your business on your personal wall, but you also can set up a fan page, which is what we've been looking at this whole time as I've been talking, where you can generate a lot of traffic. It's a great source of leads, and it just has so many cool benefits to it that I highly recommend that you do this. So once again, if you get started by clicking on that button, I'm going to give you access to my 7 video training series that's going to show you from setting up your own Facebook fan page. It's going to show you how to start building a targeted audience of people who are interested in the same things you are online, and how to build that trust with those people so that they can ultimately become part of your business, right? So that's here's a quick overview just to show you how powerful this is. And you might look at this page and say, okay, what's the big deal? But let me just show you, okay? Now this is a page I didn't set up all that long ago, okay? I only have 211 likes, right? Which is like nothing, right? But I'm going to tell you what really matters here. It's the money I'm making from this page, okay? So you can see I have do some videos here. I'm getting fairly good reach, 996 people reached. I'm going to show you how to do all this. Getting a decent amount of likes, some shares, comments on these. I mean, there's lots and lots of interaction on my page. And then here, I'm going to show you one in particular here. And this is what I want to build you up to, right? Now, the training I'm going to give you access to is going to be all the setup, the foundation to get to the point where you're creating posts like this. So this is a post that I did a couple weeks ago, and this tells a little bit about who I am, what I do, and how I do what I do, and it gives people the opportunity to connect with me. A lot of you may have came from this particular post, okay? But you can see on this post here, I've had over 270 people have liked it. I got 44 shares, and 84 comments of people who are interested in finding out more about what I do. And again, I'm going to give you access to this training completely for free. All you have to do is get started by clicking on the button below. And also, just so you know, whenever you get started by clicking on the button below, it's a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if at any point during the trial period you feel that you're just not interested in moving forward, no big deal. You can cancel at any time. You even can get whatever the fee is that you're going to be charged. Again, it'll be very, very minute, whatever that fee is. You can even get your money back, right? And just for getting started right now, I'm still, even if you would cancel for whatever reason, no big deal, I'm still going to let you keep access to my training that shows you how to build and monetize an audience on a Facebook fan page. So again, one post, and from this one post, just so you know, again, I've had 84 people want more information. From those 84 people, I signed up, I believe I'm rated like 10 people that I've signed up. And from those 10 people, I've already generated over $1,000 in income from those 10 people, okay? So, and just so you know, I paid a fraction of the cost, a fraction of that in the traffic to get those 10 people. So it's a really, really incredible way for you to build your business. And if you're doing any kind of marketing on Facebook, or if you're just getting started and you're not leveraging a fan page, you should be. So with that said, that's going to end this particular training. Be sure to look out for tomorrow's training. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video, and go ahead and click on the button below and get started. It's that simple.